What's going on, guys? It's Speedoms, and today I am bringing you guys a different sort of video. I am going to be reacting to the new card in Clash, the Battle Healer, and as you can see, I have the video pulled up of Supercell, Seth, and Drew, I think it is, talking about the new card. Um, I'm going to play that for you guys here in the background while I just kind of go over my feelings on it. um, so we'll let that play. And basically, I'm not a fan. Um, I have a lot of reasons why I don't want this card coming into the game. I'm not against the idea of the card. I think the execution of the card is a little bit poor. So before I go into that, when they announced the new card was coming out and everybody was talking about a healer, I personally didn't know that there was actually a healer in Clash of Clans because I don't play Clash of Clans. So I actually, if I seem a little off, I'm really tired. I might be getting sick. I don't know, but ignore it. But when I first conceptualized the card, I was thinking Paladin, which they do. To give them credit, they do talk about a Paladin in the video. I'm gonna leave a link to the video in the description, by the way, if you guys want to watch that. Also, CWA Orange Juice. Pretty much everybody has a video on it, so you could find actual gameplay footage. That's not what I want to do. I just want to talk about it. So, um, I thought of a paladin. I was thinking something like a 5 cost legendary, and what it would do is it would attack kind of like a royal ghost or a dark prince with the splash damage, but it wouldn't do quite as much damage. However, the damage it did, something like 25%, let's say, would heal troops around it. However, it wouldn't heal itself. In my eyes, I feel like that would be pretty balanced. The way this is it's a 4 elixir that is comparable to like a knight or a valk in terms of tankiness, heals itself, heals other troops. It just, to me, I feel like it's going to be so strong. So let's really think about why. Um, the fact that it can heal itself, I think, is going to be the most broken part of the card. I hope I'm wrong about this. I really do because I want something new like this in the game. But I feel because it can heal itself, all that's going to happen to it, people right now are thinking of it as like a frontline type troop. I'm thinking of it as a backline troop. If you put that behind, let's say, a giant, and then there's a Sparky, whatever they put behind to defend between the Sparky and that, it should take it out while healing the giant and the Sparky and healing itself. It's just going to be ridiculous. They mentioned in the video talking about Witch and Night Witch. I mean, we just had a meta where Witch was broken, and now, even though it's going back to the old Witch, it's probably going to be everywhere again. And I'm not sure that I'm really up for that. I don't know. It seems like it's going to be ridiculously strong, and I'm usually right about this stuff. Occasionally, I'm really off, but when the Royal Recruits were coming out, I remember specifically saying I think they're going to be broken. When Wall Breakers came out, I said these have the potential to be broken, if but they were obviously crap at the time. They had that one season where they ended up broken, um, because certain mechanics are exploitable, and I feel like with this card, it's just going to be all over the place. And you just saw it pop up there. Let's actually go back real quick. And where is it? Boom, right there. Let me make this bigger for you just for a moment so you guys can see more. Battle Healer. Card level boost. I think some people are saying you might be able to pick your own card. I think it's only going to be for new cards. Personally, I don't see why you'd be able to pick any card. It just doesn't make sense. Um, but it says the card will be boosted to your king level for the duration of the season. Now, let's bring this back down. Um, I like the idea. The problem is if this card does get released and it does seem a little bit broken, unless they do an emergency patch to it, or a nerf or a rework or whatever, um, I feel like it's gonna feel even more broken than, say, let's just restart this just so you guys can see some gameplay if you missed it or whatever. Um, what was I saying now? Man, my brain, my brain doesn't work. If they don't patch it, it could really affect things because, like with the elixir golem, for instance, it was broken, but in the 5 to 6,000 range where I play, I didn't see a whole lot of it on ladder. There were some people, they might have had it like level 11, level 12 or something, and it was fairly manageable. It was still a pain, but it was manageable. You couldn't play classic challenges or anything that first season it was out because it was everywhere. But the fact that even though it was only a rare card, and I'm going to get to that with this one in a minute too, the fact that it was only a rare card meant that some people could level it up, but it still would take a month or two before it was really viable on ladder. Now, every single person can run this card, and if this card really does change the game as much as I fear it could, I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying there's a lot of fears behind this card. Um, I don't know. It might ruin the entire game in general. I'm not saying forever. I'm just saying, for that season. Much much like Executioner, Witch, the Elixir Golem, even Wall Breakers, when they were really strong, how they just kind of dominated the game. I feel like this card has the potential to be that, and even if it's not as broken as those cards, you're gonna feel like it is a lot more because now not only do you have to deal with it in every challenge, but now you're gonna have to deal with every single person you face on ladder having this card leveled up. And where I am, I'm lucky if I face a level 12. You know what I mean? So at the very worst, I'm going to be at the very least I'll be facing a level 11, level 12. But probably 93% of all the ones I'll face next season will be level 13. The problem with that is the deck that I'm running now has level 12s, mostly level 12s. So it's instantly going to be the strongest card in my deck, I think. And it's instantly going to be the strongest card in a lot of other free-to-play players' decks. I would like it even if they made it one level below your King Tower. Because most cards, especially when they first come out, as long as they're relatively strong, they're going to be fine underleveled. I think about cards like Magic Archer. What are some other cards that are pretty good underleveled? Valkyrie, Bomber's good underleveled. There's a lot of cards that are pretty good underleveled, and I feel like this would be another one because it's not necessarily about how strong this particular card is. It's about the abilities of the card. So much like when the Fisherman came out, you could play that at level 9 going up against level 13s, and it really didn't matter that much because it sat in the back, it did its thing, and its mechanic doesn't change with level. Now let's briefly talk about mechanics after I talk about the fact that this card is a rare. Like, what is Supercell thinking making this card a rare? If any card in the game screams legendary, a card that heals itself, heals other troops, can tank, and do all this, all that stuff says legendary. At least make it an epic. I mean, I don't know. I guess they don't want to make every new card hard to level up, but this will be the last time I play this, and then we'll get rid of it. I don't know. All I know is I don't get why it's rare. I mean, at that point, just make it a common and be done with it. It's silly to me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it being a rare. It blows my mind, but all right. So the actual mechanics, since we don't know how it's going to work. I'm going off just brief visuals from this video. I Who else did I watched Legendary. He did a video talking about it. I watched a little of that too. But nobody knows actual stats or anything like that. So this last part is, well, this whole video is speculation, but this last part is kind of just me talking about how I think the card is going to work. Um, they mentioned in this video that's playing that the original concept came where they took a knight and every time it attacked, it healed, like a heal spell. I think that's kind of how this card's going to go. However much heal spell it does, I don't even know, to be honest. Does anybody know how much heal really does off the top of their heads? Um, but, let's just say heal does 75 per tick or whatever. I don't think that's the right number, but I don't even think that's close to the right number. But let's just say it. I think she's going to do whatever heal does every time one of her ticks goes off. That's the way the game seems to program things. So I'm going to guess that's how it works. Although, based on how much I'm seeing being healed up, it might even go quicker. I don't know. I really don't. So the damage kind of, it looks like a little bit weaker than a knight and about the same attack speed. So I guess it won't be too bad for dealing with like goblin gangs and stuff like that. The decks that I can see this card really working in is any deck like a golem or a giant deck where you're putting like a witch or night witch behind, a sparky behind, something like that, just to keep those support troops alive and doing what they need to do. It's also going to be really good if say you throw a musketeer, it gets fireballed, it's down to a sliver of health. Oh, what do you know? Drop a healer, drop a giant. Next thing you know, you get giant healer and musketeer going on a counter push. So I don't know. I feel like this card could slot in anywhere. It could slot into graveyard. If you want to throw a witch and throw that can tank the tower while the graveyard's attacking. The witch is spawning more skeletons. It's going to be ridiculous. I could even see it working in Expo. Now that's a question. Does it only heal troops or does it heal your buildings too? If it heals buildings, it's going to be ridiculously broken. I don't think it will because the heal spell doesn't. But if it does, that would be really ridiculous. But I could even still see it being an Expo. It would keep actually, it would probably replace the Ice Golem now that I think about it. Maybe it wouldn't work that well. No, because it still heals itself too, so it's a good tank. It might replace like Valk and Icepo. I've been seeing a lot of Valk and Icepo. Yeah, so I don't know. It would be really good in bait decks as well, because it could be the tank for the Goblin Barrel. Keep your, if your princess has a sliver of health, bring her back up. So I can see it being good in pretty much every deck. I mean, I'm sure there's a few like Lava Loon. It probably wouldn't fit too well in, but even still, it heals. At that point, you need a ground troop or a ground something. So I don't know. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about with it, I could. Did you hear that? Oh, I'm gonna have to kill that thing. Or do something. There's a woodpecker that's been pecking outside my window all morning, and it's driving me absolutely nuts. And when I mean outside my window, it's literally pecking my house. So it's not like it's a tree outside my window. It's literally like pecking into the house, and it's driving me absolutely insane. Um, oh, the last thing I wanted to talk about with the new card, and then I'm gonna wrap up because I've been rambling on long enough, is the one cool, really unique feature about the card that I really like is that it kind of breaks from tradition. It's not a ground troop and it's not an air troop. It's hit by ground things, but yet it's not on the ground. And I kind of wish they did this with the Royal Ghost. They really, really missed out on that opportunity. But the fact that she can just go right across the river, she doesn't have to go across a bridge or anything like that. I think that is a really cool mechanic, and it's going to be underutilized. Or I shouldn't say underutilized, but underappreciated. Um, ooh, I just thought about her and hog decks. Oh, that's going to be so ridiculous. Oh man, hog is going to be wow. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next one.